On a dating show, facing an insomniac female CEO, I pulled out my payment code. 100,000 yuan per session. Guaranteed to make you sleep even more soundly than a pig. Shen Buyu did not even lift her eyelids. She immediately transferred to 100,000 yuan. Thank you, boss. Boss, have you ever heard a fairy tale? She sighed helplessly. Bedtime stories. Do nothing for me. You will not know until you hear one. I raised a finger, signaling her to be quiet. Shh, do not talk. Now close your eyes. Shen Buyu obediently closed her eyes. Once upon a time, there was a very pitiful little girl. Her mother died young. Her worthless father loved to drink. He made the little girl sell nuclear bombs to buy him liquor. After a whole day, the little girl had not sold a single nuclear bomb. Afraid her father would beat her, she did not dare go home. It was bitterly cold that winter. The little girl curled up beside a wall on the street. Suddenly, she thought of her grandmother. I had a very pleasant voice. It instantly drew everyone into that tragic scene. The live comments flooded in. The little match girl, right? That story has been done to death. What is stale about it? What happens next? How does she sell the nuclear bombs? Did you not have a childhood? You have never heard that old cliche. Once I made sure Shen Buyu's eyes were tightly shut. I quietly moved behind her. Her grandmother was the person who loved her most in the world. Sadly, she had already passed away. The little girl desperately wanted to see her grandmother, so she lit the nuclear bomb beside her. Then, the entire village got to see her grandmother. The live comments froze for a moment. Shen Buyu's mouth twitched too. She wondered if there was really something wrong with her head. She could have signed a few more contracts instead. But just as she was about to open her eyes, I gave a sly chuckle. With a deft move, I chopped the side of her neck with my hand. And then, Shen Buyu passed out. Finally, I clapped my hands. I even kindly tossed a blanket over her. Mission accomplished. Tell me, did she sleep or not? With that said, I turned and went upstairs to sleep. I left behind a crowd of stunned viewers. And Shen Buyu, unconscious on the sofa. At midnight, the staff dragged the sleeping director out of bed. Before he could react, a wall of trending posts hit him like a blow. The top trend read, 6-foot brute knocks out frail young girl barehanded. Then actually, the director opened the video. When he saw me knock Miss Shen unconscious, he shut his eyes and fell to the floor. But seconds later, he sprang back up and started packing. Director, what are you doing? What am I doing? That bastard Fang's you does not know his place. While President Shen is asleep. Pack up. We are running. The director did not stop packing. He crammed everything into the suitcases. If we get caught in this, we are all dead. Hearing that, the staff finally broke out in cold sweat. Damn, director, you really think fast. 10 minutes later, just as the production crew loaded down with bags, was about to make a run for it, Assistant Zhu suddenly appeared. Everyone. In the middle of the night. Where are you headed? The director forced a smile and nodded awkwardly. Nowhere. We were just admiring the moon. The staff all cooperatively looked up. Yes, exactly. Watching the moon. Watching the moon at 3 in the morning? Fine, then keep watching. I only came to remind you. Do not wake President Shen. The sofa is perfectly comfortable. What did you say? Assistant Zhu, are you sure she is asleep? Her breathing is very steady. Relax. President Shen can take a beating. At those words, one staffer blurted out excitedly. So, we do not need to run. But before he could finish, he realized something was wrong and immediately shut his mouth. Soon, the next day arrived. But today was unlike any other day. Every guest who came downstairs was completely silent, not daring to make a sound. Even the production crew held their breath while carefully moving the camera equipment because on the sofa, Miss Shen was still fast asleep, with Assistant Zhu standing guard. That hushed atmosphere lasted until I made my entrance. Assistant Zhu never expected that halfway down the stairs, I would suddenly jump down. The noise made his heart skip a beat. He glanced at Shen Buyu and found she was still sleeping soundly. Only then did he breathe easy. But right after that, he heard Wang Dateng in the dining room suddenly start making snide remarks at me. Showing up this late to film. Some people have no sense of time at all. I thought about it. He was right. So I turned away from the dining table and went to the sofa. Then I gave the sleeping Shen Buyu a whack. Why are you still sleeping? They say you have no sense of time. Get up already. The second I said that, everyone was dumbfounded. Wang Dateng was scared out of his wits. His legs went weak. It was not me. I did not. Wang Dateng was so panicked he nearly wet himself. He hurriedly looked at Lan, and Lan understood him perfectly and rushed over to smooth things over. Sorry, Dateng is still young. He does not think before he speaks. He definitely was not talking about President Shen. What do you mean? I pointed at myself. If he was not targeting her, then he was targeting me. So, what if I was targeting you? President Shen is busy every day. It is understandable that she overslept. What about you? Do you look down on the rest of us? Wang Dateng decided to go all in. You are not very skilled at this tactic, are you? What does sleeping in have to do with looking down on anyone? If you insist, I really do look down on you. You. Wang Dateng was slow-witted and had no cunning whatsoever. After my retort, he truly could not say a word. His face turned bright red. In the end, he only managed to say, "You jerk, what gives you the right to look down on me?" At that moment, Shen Buyu slowly woke up. She sat there blankly for several seconds, rubbing her head and the back of her neck. Then she let out a long breath. After that, she prepared to leave. Seeing this, Wang Dateng forgot all about arguing with me. He hurried after her with a bowl of porridge. President Shen. Shen Buyu, you just woke up. Would you like something to eat? This porridge is still hot. Shen Buyu turned around at the stairs and gave him a blank look. Wang Dateng froze on the spot, not daring to approach her again. It is fine if you do not want porridge. Would you like an egg, then? But after all that talking, he still got nothing but an icy expression. Shen Buyu did not say a word and continued upstairs. Wang Dateng, having failed to get a smile from Shen Buyu, felt somewhat dejected. When he returned to the dining room, he happened to see me stuffing the eggs into my mouth one after another. He exploded again. With a bang, he slammed the porridge onto the table. Pointing at the pile of eggshells beside me, he yelled, "How could you eat so many eggs? Could you not save one for President Shen?" I kept peeling an egg without even looking at him. What? Did a hen come complaining to you? Clutching her rear. You. Wang Dateng choked again. He stood there for ages, unable to think of a retort. After his outburst, everyone at the table noticed the mountain of eggshells beside me. Zhaoyao immediately sighed. Sigh. Eating that much in one morning. Even hens would run away clutching their butts after seeing you. Quit sighing. Yizhu. Do you know you have bad breath? I pinched my nose in disgust and leaned back. The other two also scooted back. Zhuyi instinctively covered her mouth. That is a lie. I do not have bad breath. And my name is Zhuyi, not Yizhu. Sure, Yizhu. Got it, Yizhu. Zhuyi was young, and after I said that, she nearly broke down. When no one was looking, she ran off to brush her teeth. After she left, and Lang could not stand it anymore. He walked over to criticize me. Mr. Fang, giving people nicknames is very rude. You have food in your teeth. Startled, and Lan instinctively covered his mouth. He hurriedly pulled out his phone to check. Only after confirming there was nothing did he relax. There is nothing in my teeth, Mr. Fang. Did you see wrong? Mr. N, you know the best way to make someone shut up. Tell them they have food in their teeth. Whether they do or not is irrelevant. What matters is that they shut up. That joke is rather amusing. And Lang glanced at the livestream camera, then forced out a laugh. Seeing this, Wang Dateng immediately jumped in again. I wonder who it is that is not satisfied with just Lu Zhaoyao and has to cling to President Shen too. Fangs you must be thrilled to be President Shen's partner. Are you really that desperate for affection? I think you know exactly how you got onto the show. Beside him, Lu Zhaoyao immediately shook her head. She added sarcastically, Dateng, how can you say that about him? Fangs you, if you are in trouble, you can tell me. How could you? Yes, Fangs you. We can all understand your difficulties, but there are some lines you should not cross. You can still turn back now. Watching and land fawn all over them. As he echoed Lu Zhaoyao, I wanted to laugh. Are you finished? This time, Wang Dateng had learned his lesson. He knew how sharp my tongue was, so he quickly cut in. Of course not. Why? Do you not know what you have done? What did I do? How come I do not know? See. You still will not admit it. Do you really want me to spell it out? What are you talking about? I honestly do not understand. If you do not say it, how would I know what you mean? Anyway, you did those things and are too scared to admit it. Then tell me what I did. I had Wang Dateng so confused that he blurted out, how would I know what you did? What is wrong with you? You do not even know what I did, yet you are trying to pin filth on me. Only then did Wang Dateng belatedly realize he had been tricked. His face turned ashen. Fangs you did that on purpose. The viewers were confused by our exchange too. I cannot follow this. I am going to feed Kunkin. I get it. Wang Dateng does not know anything, yet he started slandering Fangs Yu right away. Fangs Yu may be a lousy person, but you cannot just make things up about him. Yang Jian and Wang Shanshan ate quietly, not wanting any part in this mess. I had only planned to coast through this dating show and leave with my money when it ended, but Lu Zhaoyao kept yapping away. Fangs Yu, when did you learn to be so calculating? You were not like this before. What was I like before? Why do you talk so much crap? As I spoke, I slammed down my chopsticks. Then I picked up Zhu's bowl and planted it straight on Lu Zhaoyao's head. Everyone froze in place, unable to believe it. Fangs Yu, have you lost your mind? Is this your first day knowing me? You keep repeating the same few lines, even if you are not tired of saying them. I am tired of hearing them. Lu Zhaoyao tried to get up and teach me a lesson. Sensing her intent, I grabbed the chopsticks and hurled them hard at her chair. They struck with a bang and embedded themselves in the chair. Lu Zhaoyao looked down and her legs instantly went weak. She did not even dare remove the bowl from her head. Seeing this, Wang Dateng fell silent for a few seconds, then turned and ran. But a chair I kicked blocked his path. Then I strode over and hit him in the face. You think you can spread lies about me? Wang Dateng immediately began struggling. He shouted through slurred words. I am right. You are a petty villain. You deserve to be. Seeing Wang Dateng still refused to back down, I raised my hand and hit him again. Say that again? You. Another hit. Wang Dateng was completely dazed, and Lan came over to break it up and tried to pull me away. He got hit twice as well. When Zhaoyao saw Lan clutching his face, she forgot all about the bowl on her head and sprang up to yell, Fang's you. Enough. But the next second, she was thrown back into her chair. Her head spun, and she could not tell up from down. Seeing one of them dazed, and the other covering his face, Wang Dateng changed his tune at once and collapsed onto the floor. Sorry, brother Fang. I should not have shot my mouth off. I shook out my numb hand, feeling deeply satisfied. The director had not dared intervene earlier. Now that he saw my anger had mostly faded, he finally came over. We still need to film the show. He has apologized. Why not let it go? I gave him a look. The director instinctively took 2 steps back. Why you cannot take it out on me too, right? Why would I? Director. I flashed him a grin. Just then, Shen came out. Wang Dateng thought he had seen his savior. He scrambled desperately toward her. Sister Buyu, Fang Zhu is bullying me. You have to stand up for me. Assistant Zhu immediately grabbed him and stopped him from approaching Shen Buyu. Shen Buyu frowned at Wang Dateng. I do not know you. And stay away from me. The moment she said that, Wang Dateng let out a wail. He ran off in despair. Seeing his perfectly good show turn into this, the director could only laugh awkwardly. He forced himself to step forward. Everyone, take a short break. Our first activity will be an icebreaker game. At the director's words, everyone nodded. Things had been unpleasant just now, but the contracts were signed. They still had to finish the show. 5 minutes later, everyone returned to their seats. I rolled my neck and sat down too. Once everyone was seated, the director promptly announced, this game is called Avoid the Camera. Using yesterday's assigned partners, you will work in pairs. Choose your hiding spot within a 5-second countdown. The pair caught on camera the fewest times wins. Yang Jian quickly raised his hand. What does the winning pair get? Zhuyi eagerly chimed in too. Yeah, director. Without a prize, we have no motivation to play. The director smiled. The winning pair will enjoy a lavish feast at tonight's pool party. I had not been very interested, but at those words, I was instantly fired up. Like me, everyone else heard that and became motivated. And Lan quickly asked, what about everyone else? The rest of you will have to cook your own meals. And one more thing, different rankings will receive different ingredients. Alright, everyone, the countdown starts now. As the director began counting down, and Lan hurriedly pulled Zhaoyao behind the curtains. But just then, Liu Ryan had her eye on that spot too. They immediately began fighting over it. Meanwhile, Zhuyi and Wang Dateng were frantic. With the countdown nearly over, they set their sights on behind the sofa, but after only 2 steps, they tripped and fell flat on their faces. As for me, I remained completely calm. Then, casually, I took Shen Buyu by the hand, grabbed the camera mounted on its stand, and snapped a photo of everyone. The camera clicked, and everyone but the 2 of us was in the shot. The director had not even finished calling out one, and everyone stared at me blankly. What are you looking at me for? Look at the sky. The swallows did not fly south this year. No one understood. So I added, this is way too easy, buddy. The director immediately got angry. Who told you that you could hide behind the camera? Nobody told me. I thought of it myself. Besides, your rules never said we could not. The director choked on his words and opened his mouth for ages, but could not say a thing. In the end, he glanced at Shen Buyu, who was obediently staying by my side, and declared our team the winner anyway. But Wang Dateng had no sense of the situation. He dusted himself off and stood up. I object. He cheated. Why should that count as a win? I let out a cold laugh. But before I could respond, the normally silent Shen Buyu spoke up. We followed the rules exactly. There was no cheating involved. And, Mr. Wang, I hope you will mind your language. Before she had even finished, Wang Dateng had already hunched his neck, retreating aside without daring to make a sound. He did not even dare look Shen Buyu in the eye. Watching from the side, I was amazed. These days, power and influence really mattered. Soon, the game entered its second round. This time, the director patched the camera loophole, but unfortunately, it was not enough. I quickly recalled the camera's blind spots. With a hard shove, I pushed Shen Buyu behind the door. Then I reached up and jumped, and quickly climbed onto the top of the door. The director played some sweet background music, ready to film the guests' flirtatious interactions. Watching the handsome men and beautiful women, the corners of his lips rose unconsciously. Suddenly, Someone in the live comments noticed one pair was missing. The director was puzzled. He searched the monitors for ages, but could not find us. The staff helplessly told the cameraman to point the camera upward. The camera slowly tilted up, revealing me clinging to the top of the door like a gecko. The director's face darkened as he chased me down from the door. He looked utterly exasperated. This is a dating show. You should be hiding with the female guest. The space was too small. It could only hide one person. Then, where is President Shen? Behind the door. The round is over. So why has she not come out? I spread my hands, saying I had no idea. Then I stepped up and yanked open the door. Shen Buyu fell straight into my arms. The director's vision went black, and he nearly lost his breath. He almost passed into the next world. Someone in the crowd suddenly shouted, "President Shen has fainted." The staff rushed over in a panic and began checking Shen Buyu's condition. I stared at her swollen, red forehead in shock. Did I shove her so hard that she fainted? After taking a moment to recover, the director staggered over, grabbing me with trembling hands. The Shen group invested in our show. If President Shen is unhappy, the show is finished. And forget about getting paid. No appearance fee? That will not do. With a determined expression, I gripped the director's hand tightly. It is fine, director. I will figure something out. I will not give her a chance to pull her funding. By then, Buyu had recovered. She sat in a nearby chair, holding her forehead. I hurried over to her. Honestly, why did you suddenly throw yourself into my arms? That is a 500 yuan fine. Do not do it again. Shen Buyu gave a cold laugh and was about to say something, but Assistant Su's eyes lit up. He decisively said, "It has been so long since I saw Miss smile like that." I raised an eyebrow at that. My eyes gleamed with amusement. "Woman, why are you silent? Are you playing hard to get with me?" Having finally met someone as unhinged as himself, Assistant Su could finally unleash all the CEO romance novel lines he had been saving up. I have never seen Miss so worried about anyone. I gave a wicked grin. I casually pulled a card from my pocket and slapped it on the table. The password for this card is 6 zeros. So is the balance. Go spend it. Assistant Su was horrified. "Miss, he is throwing money at us. Say something." Shen Buyu stared at us expressionlessly and fell silent. With that done, I walked away, hiding my achievements and fame. Since Shen Buyu had suddenly collapsed, the game could not continue. The director had no choice but to declare our team the final winner. According to the rules, each pair received 100 yuan in cash to buy dinner ingredients. Since the winning pair had a lavish dinner, we could spend that 100 yuan on whatever we wanted. I used the money to order 2 milk teas, then split the remaining 70 yuan with Shen Buyu. I handed her a milk tea. "This is milk tea. Have you never had it?" Shen Buyu took it and thought for a few seconds. "I have never had anything this cheap." "Cheap?" I bit down hard on my straw. "Damn capitalist." After we entered the supermarket together, I took Shen Buyu straight to the snack aisle. I agonized over several bags of chips on the shelf. Barbecue flavor, lime flavor, river snail rice noodle flavor, cilantro flavor. I wanted to try them all, but I only had 35 yuan in my pocket. As I was torn over it, Wang Dateng appeared out of nowhere. "What a coincidence, President Shen. You are here too." Then he turned and took a shot at me. "How can you only think of yourself? You did not even buy President Shen a gift." I ignored him and kept picking out chips. Shen Buyu frowned, displeased. "We split it evenly. It is fair." Wang Dateng rubbed his hands and bent forward ingratiatingly. "If President Shen were paired with me, I would let you spend every last cent. I would not be like certain people. I was just picking snacks, and somehow I got blamed." I turned around and pulled 30 yuan straight from Shen Buyu's pocket. Wang Dateng's eyes widened. "What gives you the right to take all the money?" I raised an eyebrow, then took the last 5 yuan bill from Shen Buyu as well. "All right. Now all the money is mine." Shen Buyu looked at me, then said to words without expression, "Robber." Thanks to Wang Dateng, I happily carried a huge bag of different flavored chips back to my room. I snapped a picture and posted it on Weibo. At 24, I have fully paid for several bags of new flavored chips. No help from my parents. I did it all myself. The comments exploded. I looked through the comments and replied to the ones I disliked. "You stole your partner's money for chips, and you have the nerve to post about it. You little bastards seriously have way too much free time. One look tells me you have never eaten anything good. What I eat could pay for your entire life. Eating this well. Is this your last meal? You used to bleed Lu Zhaoyao dry, and now you are planning to latch onto Shen Buyu. How humiliating. At least an ass makes noise when it lets out gas. But when it comes to talking crap, your mouth wins." I battled alone in the comments for 300 rounds, until my agent, Chen Jian, called. "Can you stop causing trouble? Can we not just get through this reality show peacefully? Take the money and leave. Why must you argue with strangers online? Now scandals about you are everywhere." I opened a bag of chips and lastly replied, "Still better than selling condoms." What? One face in public, another in private. Shen Jian fell silent for a few seconds, then hung up. The live comments flew by at a dizzying pace. The gossip-hungry viewers all had their own opinions. I put down my phone and suddenly leaned close to the camera. My features were refined, my skin clear and fresh. Loose bangs lightly covered my brows. At first glance, I even looked rather gentle. Newcomers who had clicked in from the trending topic were met with my suddenly enlarged good looks, and were stunned by how handsome I was. After a long pause, I slowly said, I successfully got myself a whole house. New viewers flooded the comments. You bought a house so young. You are amazing. I turned and went downstairs, leaving my final words echoing through the room. Your meltdowns. As I went downstairs, I happened to run into Zhaoyao at the corner. She stood in the camera's blind spot, silently threatening me. You better take everything that happened before to your grave. Threatening me. I reached out and dragged her straight into view. Come on, say that again. Zhaoyao jumped at the sudden turn of events, but recovered her smile a second later. What are you talking about, Mr. Fang? I do not understand. I gave a derisive laugh and let her go. She told you to take what happened before to your grave. A cool female voice suddenly cut in. Zhaoyao froze, her smile stiffening. Why is she everywhere? Shen Buyu leaned quietly against the doorframe, her expression mocking. You did it, but you cannot own it. Zhaoyao instinctively turned to retort. You are lying. She looked at me pleadingly, hoping I would speak up for her. After all, this trick had always worked on me before. Zhaoyao was certain that with one look, I would soften. Naturally, I had no idea that in those few seconds, Zhaoyao's thoughts had taken hundreds of twists and turns. I had only transmigrated here a few days ago, and I had already forgotten most of the plot. I carefully recalled what had happened in the original story. After a while, it finally clicked. Oh, you mean how you said you loved me, then immediately got together with Lan. I knew you still had feelings for me. Two voices spoke at once. At my words, Zhaoyao's face changed sharply. I looked at Zhaoyao, utterly speechless. It is fine if your head is empty, but do not let water get into it too, okay? Still have feelings for you. Are you even awake? Shen Buyu had clearly heard that too, and laughed without holding back. That sentence contained far too much information. The viewers' brains had already short-circuited. Quite a few had switched into gossip mode. The game is about to start. Everyone, hurry downstairs. After getting a call from his agent, Lan rushed upstairs to interrupt us. He quickly stepped up to me. You cannot make baseless accusations. Zhaoyao and I are still getting to know each other. Maybe he feared I would slap each of them across the face. After saying that, he grabbed Zhaoyao and ran. They ran as if ghosts were chasing them. Shen Buyu watched the entire farce unfold. Her lips curved slightly. Do you need me to deal with them? I answered expressionlessly. Heh. One day, I will skewer the lot of them like candied hawthorn. Shen Buyu stumbled, nearly losing her footing. By the time Shen Buyu and I leisurely made it downstairs, all the other guests had arrived. No one started a conversation, so there was nothing to discuss. There was a whole crowd downstairs, yet it was strangely quiet. The director raised a pink megaphone and cleared his throat, breaking the awkward atmosphere. Let me briefly explain the pre-dinner warm-up game. The crew fastened a wristband onto each guest. The display would show their heart rates in real time. Within 5 minutes, the winner is whoever makes their opponent's heart rate rise fastest. There will be 4 rounds, and no one may compete twice. The first round was Zhuyi versus Yang Jian. Zhuyi unleashed one cheesy line after another. Yang Jian's heart rate dropped instead of rising. Everyone burst out laughing. To comfort Zhuyi, the director let her choose the next challenger. Zhuyi immediately pointed at me, since I was laughing the loudest. My smile vanished in an instant. The smile transferred to the director's face. Fang's you. Who do you choose as your heart-fluttering partner this round? My hand swept through the air, before finally landing on one person. Zhaoyao. Zhaoyao gave a soft huff, then rose and sat in the chair. As the director announced the start of the game, I leaned forward slightly and swiftly moved close to Zhaoyao's face. Zhaoyao gave me a sweet smile. Fang's you still like me, right? I slowly shook my head, then gave her a sincere smile. I will let it slide this time. Next time, do not flatter yourself. The moment I finished speaking, I suddenly pulled something from my pocket and placed it before her. It was a lifelike giant fake cockroach. Its antennae were even moving. Zhaoyao looked down and screamed. Her heart rate shot from 95 to 130. I took back the cockroach and nodded in satisfaction. I win. Everyone around us sucked in a sharp breath. The director nearly choked on his breath. When it was Lan's turn, just as I expected, he chose Shen Buyu. Once the two sat facing each other, and Lan tried to reach out and touch Shen Buyu's shoulder. There were only 2 ways to make someone's heart race: flirt with words, or make physical contact. But before his hand reached her, one soft huff from Shen Buyu frightened him into stillness. After stammering for ages, he tried verbal flirting instead, but under Shen Buyu's icy expression, and Lan stuttered so badly he could not even finish a sentence. Until time ran out, Shen Buyu's heart rate did not fluctuate at all. At the end, unwilling to accept defeat, and Lan seized the last moment. He suddenly stood up, pretending to trip over a cable on the floor, and reached for Shen Bai's shoulder. But then, everyone saw Shen Bai shift to one side, rising smoothly to her feet. Having an episode? You cannot even stand straight. I was a little surprised. I thought she was an airhead. Turns out her reflexes are fast. After 3 rounds ended, Shen Buyu and I waited on the terrace for the chef to make us something delicious. I gazed at the sky and thought seriously for a while, then turned to stare at Shen Buyu. The sunset's fading glow bathed us both. The director read the moment perfectly, and had sweet background music added to the broadcast, so the livestream viewers saw the two of us gazing deeply into each other's eyes, with romantic music playing. Then I seriously asked, with the wind blowing this hard, do you think a pile of money might suddenly blow into my face? No, that is a little disappointing. I have a girly side too. You know, especially for pink banknotes. Shen Buyu was speechless, unsure what to say. The director gave up trying to find romance between us. He switched the main camera to the kitchen, and Lan expertly stir-fried the greens in the pan. Zhaoyao stood beside him, occasionally passing seasonings. But the next second, oil splattering from the pan burned Zhaoyao's hand. She hissed in pain, and Lan's expression changed. How could you be so careless? I will get some medicine. Fans of the first love couple flooded the comments, screaming that they shipped it. By then, I had already entered the kitchen, watching the chef sear steak with complete focus. My face was practically pressed against the pan. Shen Buyu sat nearby. When she suddenly heard me hiss too, she instinctively stood, grabbed my hand, and tried to take me to rinse it under cold water. I looked at her in utter confusion. What are you doing? Shen Buyu looked at me with concern, her expression serious. If you got burned, rinsing it with cold water will help. Who said I got burned? Then why did you hiss? Oh. The steak smelled so good I almost drooled. Shen Buyu fell silent. I thought she was about to say something, but she merely pushed the sparkling water on the table toward me. Have some. Do not just drool. I paused, then looked away. Night gradually fell. I spent the evening pool party embraced by delicious food. After eating and drinking my fill, I got up for a drink. At the corner, I bumped into someone. Wang Dateng was holding a box of instant noodles. My collision knocked him off balance, and he landed hard on his backside. Who is that? Watch where you are going. He turned, saw me, and his eyes widened. You again. Just wait. Tomorrow, I will definitely be paired with President Shen. I nodded, acknowledging his declaration. I said I am going to steal President Shen from you. Are you not angry? Wang Dateng was a little baffled. His mind began racing wildly. Why was Fang Zhu still not angry after I said all that? Could it be because he still had Zhaoyao in his heart? Wang Dateng felt he had uncovered the truth. He gave a disdainful snort. You are not still hung up on Zhaoyao, are you? And Lan is the family's young master. You cannot beat him. Expressionless, I walked straight past him. Wang Dateng had no idea what I was thinking. He revealed a smile full of confidence. The livestream comments exploded. The family. Does he mean that family? This little dating show is packed with hidden heavyweights. First, there was the Shen family's precious heiress. Now there is the family's young master. The director must be thrilled. No way. Is his sister in Shen. And Lan, little brother, I want to be your brother-in-law. A few days ago, she apparently bought a jewelry set at an auction in Country S. Insiders said it was a gift for her younger brother. The family did an excellent job hiding their son's photos. I never expected it to be in Lan. One trending topic after another slowly climbed into the top 10. Jealous of Lan, the adored young master. The director, who constantly monitored Weibo, was not nearly as happy as the viewers imagined. He kept breaking into a cold sweat. He was terrified that when giants clashed, everyone nearby would suffer. Zhaoyao saw the trending topic too. Her face lit up. She led Lan into a blind spot beyond the cameras. And Lan, how could you hide something this huge from me for so many years? And Lan had not had time to check his phone and looked bewildered. Stop hiding it from me. I already know you are part of the family. My surname has always been N. What else could I be if not an An? Zhaoyao thought he was still keeping it from her. She immediately handed him her phone with the trending topic open. And Lan took the phone. He was surprised to see his name at the top of the trending list. He opened it and read what everyone was discussing. His smile instantly froze. As Lan read, his heart sank. But since entering show business, this was the first time he had attracted so much attention. He stayed silent for a moment, then clenched his fist. It was as if he had made up his mind. Whatever the case, since fate had given him this opportunity, he should make good use of it. As Zhaoyao spoke, she grew thoughtful. Fang Zhu has changed so much. Sometimes I feel as though he has become a completely different person. As I happened to pass a corner, I heard my own name. I immediately decided to eavesdrop. I also pulled out my phone and started recording. Zhaoyao's voice continued. I was young and foolish back then. I once pushed him into the water while fooling around. He cannot still hold a grudge against me, can he? Fang Zhu's brow twitched. The original story mainly revolved around the male and female leads. Fang Zhu knew nothing about the original owner's past. But, what do you mean? You push someone into water fooling around. How could that possibly be called fooling around? And Lan spoke calmly. Even if he hates you, what can he do about it? Is he not afraid of water? We can knock him in and give him a little scare. There was uncertainty in Lu Zhaoyao's voice. Would that be going too far? And Lan paused, his tone utterly casual. What is the big deal? It is just a joke, like before. I lay there, trying to hear more. But a long time passed, and neither of them made another sound. Did they leave? I cautiously poked my head out. I saw the two of them locked in an inseparable embrace. Good grief, my eyes. Thinking about what they had just said, I chuckled. Then I turned and walked away. Before long, the director had brought the entire camera crew to the other side of the pool. The guests changed into their swimsuits and gathered one by one. Everyone had arrived except me. The director sat across the pool. He raised a megaphone and shouted upstairs. Fang's you. Hurry up and come down. Coming. I suddenly appeared and launched into a sliding tackle. And Lan, smiling brightly, was completely unsuspecting. The tackle sent him flying. He landed perfectly in the pool. Everyone was stunned. The staff nearby simply stared in shock. I pretended to be surprised and covered my mouth. Sorry. The poolside was too slippery. I did not mean to. And Lan thrashed wildly in the water. Since he had fallen in without warning, he swallowed quite a lot of water. The moment he surfaced, he heard me. To maintain his gentle image, he forced a smile. Cough, cough. I do not blame you. And Lan struggled out of the pool. Lu Zhaoyao looked deeply concerned. She hurried over and caught him. Are you all right? I am fine. I patted my chest toward Shen Buyu, who was farthest from me. That really scared me half to death. Thankfully, he was kind enough not to hold it against me. And Lan's smile froze. But Fang's you had pushed him this far, so he could only suppress his anger. It is fine. Just be more careful next time. I nodded obediently. Zhuyu's mouth twitched. She kept elbowing Wang Dateng beside her. It was the first time Shen Buyu had seen me being so agreeable. A hint of surprise appeared in her eyes. Even the director smiled in relief. The boy has grown up. How wonderful. Lu Zhaoyao used a towel to dry in Lan's hair. There was a hint of reproach in her voice. You already knew the poolside was slippery. Why were you still running so fast? I ignored them completely and walked toward Shen Buyu. As I passed in Lan and Lu Zhaoyao, I suddenly lost my balance. After flailing twice, I swept out a leg for leverage and successfully steadied myself. Bang! 2 screams and 2 splashes rang out, and Lan and Lu Zhaoyao were both swept into the pool. Everyone else took a synchronized step back, afraid I might lose my mind, and sweep them all into the pool with one huge kick. I let out a long breath and smiled confidently. I almost slipped, but I stayed steady. Very reassuring. The corners of Shen Buyu's mouth lifted, and she nearly burst out laughing. Ji was terrified of being caught in the crossfire. She frantically tried to remember whether she had offended this menace lately. While no one was watching, she quietly moved to more steps. She was now even farther from me. Looking at the chaotic scene, the director covered his eyes in despair, and Lan could no longer worry about maintaining his gentle persona. After thrashing in the water a few times, he regained his balance. He pointed at me and began cursing. What the hell is wrong with you? How many times have you knocked me into the pool? Lu Zhaoyao had never expected this. She was trembling all over in the water. I watched coldly as the two supported each other and shakily climbed out. The staff hurriedly handed them towels, and Lan ignored his own condition and first wrapped Lu Zhaoyao completely in a towel. Seeing Lu Zhaoyao's pale face, his heart ached for her. He gently patted Lu Zhaoyao's back, then rose furiously. Fang's you. We did nothing to you. Fine. Target me if you want. But why drag Zhaoyao into this? I gave Lan a wicked grin and pretended to look hurt. I was just fooling around with you two. What? Did you not enjoy it? At the words fooling around, and Lan's expression changed. He quickly composed himself and spoke through clenched teeth. You call this fooling around? I was young and foolish. I accidentally pushed someone into the water while fooling around. Is that not perfectly normal? I lowered my head slightly, my eyes meeting Lu Zhaoyao's. You agree, right? Lu Zhaoyao immediately lowered her head, afraid to meet my eyes. But she quickly composed herself and looked up at me. A tear slid from the corner of her eye. It only counts as fooling around if both sides are enjoying themselves. Do you think this is appropriate now? Her expression was stubborn. She looked exactly like a beautiful, strong, tragic heroine. The viewers were furious and began attacking Fang's you. The livestream comments went into battle mode again. I gave a cold laugh and pulled my phone from my pocket. So, you understand that principle after all. Lu Zhaoyao and Lan exchanged a glance. A sense of dread immediately seized them. I pressed play. Their voices came clearly through the phone speaker. The entire scene fell silent. The comments exploded. Fang Shu's a good one. He eavesdropped, recorded it, and even shared it with us. Oh no. And Lan's image as my perfect dream man has completely shattered. Wasn't he supposed to be the infamily's young master? Why is he so petty? And Lan glared at me, his fist clenched tightly. I stood there, watching the two of them. Suddenly, I felt a little bored. Forget it. I won't argue with someone who lies through his teeth. I put away my phone and turned to leave. But Lan suddenly grabbed me. He dragged me into a blind spot away from the cameras. He lowered his voice. I will give you 100,000. Delete the recording. I tilted my head and held up to fingers. Double it. He nodded through clenched teeth. He reluctantly transferred 200,000 to me. Once the money arrived, I deleted the recording right in front of him. Of course, the backup was still safe. And Lan sighed in relief and was about to turn around when I casually added, "You are obviously short as hell, yet you stuff your shoes with hype-boosting insoles. Do you really think you are that tall?" And Lan's expression changed dramatically. At the same time, Liu Ryan noticed something in the pool. A white insole was floating on the water. Confused, she pointed at the pool and asked quietly, "What is that?" Ji followed the direction of her finger. Then she burst out laughing. "Ha! Who dropped their hype-boosting insole?" She glanced sideways at Lan, who was clearly much shorter after climbing out. It was obvious whose insole it was, and Lan looked rather uncomfortable. "How do you know that is a hype-boosting insole?" Ji answered with complete sincerity. "I use this brand of hype-boosting insoles too." And Lan closed his eyes, his heart bleeding. What a waste of money. His eyes reddened, and he no longer cared about the event. He ran straight upstairs. The scene descended into chaos. The exhausted director shook his head. Forget it. Forget it. Just go back to your rooms and write down your crushes. Everyone made their way back to the rooms in a grand procession. The crush selection segment began, and Lan and Lu Zhaoyao wrote each other's names. Without hesitation, Wang Dateng decisively wrote Shen Bayu's name. I was lying on my bed, playing on my phone, when the director urged me to get up. "Your crush?" "I absolutely do not have one." When I did not move, the director stood behind the camera, frantically hinting that I should write down anyone. I got the hint and drew lots. I instantly knew whose name to write. The director was satisfied and gathered everyone together. Then he announced the rules. A mutual choice meant the pairing automatically succeeded. If the choices differed, the men's choices would take priority today. And Lan and Lu Zhaoyao turned over their cards at the same time. Each card bore the other person's name. Wang Dateng was somewhat nervous. His card had Shen Bayu's name on it. He cautiously stole a glance at Shen Bayu's expression. She showed no particular emotion. Ji turned over her card. It bore Yang Jian's name. She pressed her palms together and looked at Yang Jian. She gave him a pleading gesture. Yang Jian lowered his head with a smile and nodded. Only I remained. Liu Ryan and Shen Bayu still had not revealed their cards. I slapped my card onto the table. I choose Liu Ryan. Both women immediately changed expressions. Shen Bayu instantly looked unhappy. She shoved her card straight into her pocket. Only then did I remember to ask about my former partner. "Who did you choose?" Shen Bayu let out a cold snort. "It was not you, anyway." Just like that, for pairs of guests were formed. Liu Ryan and I were paired together. Wang Dateng and Shen Bayu were paired together. Wang Dateng was immersed in the joy of being paired with the woman he had longed for. By the time he came back to his senses, Shen Bayu had already gone upstairs. Liu Ryan turned to me with a miserable expression. "Sir, Before she could finish, I put an arm around her shoulders. "For now, you're just a helpless little woman. I won't touch you, but if I catch you roaming around on another man's turf, I'll haul you right back." Liu Ryan was stunned by my overbearing CEO-style declaration. For a long while, she could not say a word. Ding! My phone vibrated. I took it out and glanced at the screen. Shen Bayu had sent me a message. I put away my phone and headed upstairs. The director waved for everyone to turn in early. He switched off most of the cameras. Only some of the hallway cameras remained on. The production team was considerate. They displayed each of the cameras that were still running, so viewers could switch between them freely. Viewers switching cameras for something to do saw me stride into Shen Bayu's room. The door was wide open. The camera across the hall happened to face Shen Bayu's room directly. It captured the interior perfectly clearly. Shen Bayu was half reclining on the bed in a nightgown. I waved my phone. Then I said something. Since the microphones had been removed, the viewers could only make out a few muffled words. The livestream comments began scrolling rapidly again. I knew these had something going on. Are they having a secret relationship on a dating show? This is getting interesting. Late at night, a man and a woman alone together in one room. The viewers then watched as I slowly approached Shen Bayu. I placed a hand against the back of her neck. Before they could finish imagining all sorts of possibilities, they saw me chop down with the edge of my hand and knock Shen Bayu unconscious. The director came running up, gasping for breath. He arrived just in time to see the scene. He sucked in a sharp breath. I left the unconscious Shen Bayu where she lay and walked toward the director. As I passed, I closed the bedroom door. The director looked like he wanted to speak, but finally asked, "What were you doing just now? Did Shen Bayu not say she could not sleep because of insomnia?" Luckily, I have an old family technique passed down through generations that can help her. The director pressed a hand to his forehead. This is the first time I have seen someone treat insomnia by knocking the patient unconscious. Clutching the stair railing, he